activating and deactivating my camera when switching. Anyways, I'm only gonna name only the games that I've played. So um this is the original Resident Evil. Uh man, is this the do they have the remake on here? They have zero. So they don't have the remake. So I'm gonna be going with like the remastered version of Resident Evil instead of like the OG, which even the OG is great. Um, Now it's my favorite Resident Evil, but even with it being my favorite, do I put it in S or A? I would probably put the original Resident Evil in A tier because even though it's my personal favorite, I don't think it's perfect. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of backtracking in the original Resident Evil, and they do it, I guess, tastefully as they can, but there is a lot of backtracking, a lot of, okay, I got this key. I just came from there. Okay, well, I'm going back over there now that I have this key. Resident Evil 2, S tier. And I'm taking into account the remake too, which would be S plus. I think they did a great job on the RE2 remake. Perfect. Perfect. Down to the absolute detail. Last detail. Love Resident Evil 2. I think nostalgia puts the original Resident Evil 2 as my favorite. RE3 Nemesis. See, I had to like be specific. So RE3 Nemesis, the remake, D tier to C tier. C tier. I'll put C for RE3 Nemesis, the remake. RE3 Nemesis, the original classic version, that's a whole different beast. Um, I remember I haven't played it in a very long time, but the RE3 Nemesis game to me was so hard. It was tough. I remember Nemesis being an absolute menace. I hated this guy. Stars. Like, dude, dude. The new one, he doesn't even say stars. That's automatically 2 points off the grade. But for the original OG version, man, I'm going back and I'm gonna replay all of these, and I wanna play the classics. So I'm gonna put RE3 Nemesis in A tier. Who am I full in S? I think it's an S. I love RE3. Survivor I've never played, so I'm just gonna put it in C. Do I have to grab it? No, I don't. Okay. Veronica. Ooh. A lot of people wanna see a Veronica remake, and I don't blame them. I think this would absolutely go ham as a remake, but there's only one Code Veronica, and that's well, let me rephrase that. There's the original Code Veronica, and then there's the port they made of Code Veronica, which it's the exact same, so nothing changed really. I'm gonna put Code Veronica in B, and the reason why Code Veronica is in B to me, and this is before and I haven't played a lot of these games in a long time. It's been a long time since I've played them. So this is just off like I wanted to do like a before tier list and then I'm gonna do an after tier list after we beat them all. So Code Veronica would be a B off memory just because of backtracking. The same thing that brings the original Resident Evil down to an A for me, even though it's my personal favorite. Code Veronica has even worse backtracking, and what's even worse than that is you can actually, like, lock yourself out of progressing any. Like, there's soft locks in the game where you can, like, lock yourself out from being able to play, which is absolutely crazy. And I think that Code Veronica, if it actually got a dedicated remake like, RE2 and the original is getting let's not mention Resident Evil 3, we can just forget that happened, right? Okay, great. And what the hell is this? Oh, this is Survivor 2. I've never played Resident Evil Survivor or Survivor 2. I've never played Gaiden. Oh, okay, okay, okay. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Okay, so it does have the remake. So I would put the original in A, just because it's oh, it's so good, dude. I having to rethink it. Yeah, I'll put the remake into S. Am I glazing? Am I glazing right now? I think that addition of like the graphics still to this day, I will fight someone in the street if they don't think that the remake or remaster Resident Evil still doesn't look good to this day. To this day, it still looks great. Um, dude, it's an awesome game. I'm gonna put it in S. I'm gonna stop debating with myself. Resident Evil Zero, I've actually never played. No, that's a lie. I did play it and I couldn't get off the train, but I never beat it. So I actually never got off the train. So I don't even know what's beyond that. So I cannot fairly judge Resident Evil Zero. I thought that game was really hard. That is the to me, without progressing off the train, um, that's like Dark Souls Resident Evil. It was really tough. What is this here? The hell is this? Dead Aim? I've never played Dead Aim. Maybe I'm a fake fan. I've never played Dead Aim, but I have played Resident Evil Outbreak. I'll put that in a B. Resident Evil. Okay, so I have to do like a whole video on Resident Evil games I want to see remade. Resident Evil Outbreak is one of those games. It's the first. It was such a unique idea, especially for the time on the PlayStation 2. Um, like it had multiplayer components where you could play with other people like a Resident Evil story. It was sweet. And like if you died, you became a zombie and you had to hunt down like the remaining people that you're playing with. It was really cool. Um, I thought it was really hard, and it's even harder when you had people who like just didn't know what they were doing or like just trolling online. But man, Resident Evil Outbreak should get a remaster. And I haven't played Requiem yet. We're about to play it right here, right now, tonight, right after we do this tier list, so that way I can put it on the ranking here. But it should get a remake, and I think that one of the characters' daughter or something, from what I gathered from the trailer, is actually in this game. So maybe that gives hope to there possibly being an Outbreak remake or maybe an Outbreak 3. Here's hoping, right? Like I hope so because I thought it was such a unique idea for the time. Um Outbreak 2, I kind of give it a C. I didn't like it as much as the first one. I didn't like the setting. If I remember right, it's been a long time. So if I remember right, it was in a zoo, which sounds cool, right? But I thought that to me, like the sequel should improve on everything that the original came up with, right? In most cases, like you want to see major jumps and leaps, and I just didn't see that with Outbreak 2. Um, or that I can remember. Like I said, it's been a long time. And to be honest, like Outbreak 2 just didn't have that impact on me. I don't even know if I could play Outbreak 2 or the original Outbreak. I do want to play them when I start playing the classics again. Resident Evil 4, just the remake, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter if it's the remake or not. The remake's down here, but Resident Evil 4 does not matter. That's an S. Resident Evil 4 is fucking awesome. Leon's a f- Leon's a badass. That's why he's still around. All right. Resident Evil 4 picked up Resident Evil out of the grave and pumped life into it. It completely changed everything about Resident Evil. Like you see these shitty games here that I've never played, Survivor, Survivor 2, Dead Aim, Gaiden. These games here, like Resident Evil was in a real slump. They didn't know what to do. And then they dropped this absolute banger of a game. and it completely changed everything. I remember, like, reading my Game Informer, shout out Game Informer, back when they had magazines, like, reading about Resident Evil 4. I still have that magazine. Um, but, like, dude, it was so awesome, and, like, I'll never forget going against, like, the chainsaw dude for the first time. That shit was crazy. Resident Evil 5. This is gonna be a hot take. That's an A. Resident Evil 5 is awesome. Resident Evil 5 with a friend is S tier. Solo, A tier. I love Resident Evil 5. Had a lot of controversy when it first came out. Whatever, like a bunch of people that are in their feelings about absolutely nothing. It was stupid. All the shit people were talking about Resident Evil 5. It absolutely slaps. It hits like Chris hitting a boulder. I love RE5. What up, Eli? Or blind shot. Sorry to put your personal information out there. But RE5 is an A. We're just doing a little tier rank before we start playing the new Resident Evil. So I kind of wanted to see where it would fall after beating it. Um, okay. What is this? Oh, Mercenaries 3D. I think this was an offshoot of RE5. It has like the Mercenaries mode. I never played it. I think this is Umbrella Chronicles. I really wish I could see a little better. Holy hell. Can we zoom in here? Thank God I couldn't see shit. Ugh. Ugh. All right. All right. There we go. Now we can see. Get out of here. Mercenaries 3D never played. What the hell is this? I've never played that either. Holy shit. Are there this many Resident Evil games? What the hell is this? Umbrella Chronicles? I never played Umbrella Chronicles. I played Revelations. That's a C. I did not enjoy that. I thought that was really lackluster. Maybe a playthrough again once I play through these games. Maybe it'll go higher, but didn't enjoy Revelations. Resident Evil 6. Oh god. They had 5 campaigns. They had Leon, Ada, Jake, and what's that girl's name? Um, and then they had a girl, Sherry, I think was it, or was it Piers? No, no, it was Leon, Chris, because Piers was Chris's partner. So Leon, Chris, Ada, and Jake slash Sherry. And the only campaign that I remember is Chris and Leon's. The rest were kind of doo doo, kind of major doo doo. I'd put it in C tier. Also, you have the classic giraffe getting a blowjob from random resident. I did not like Resident Evil 6 at all. I thought it was kind of trash. Same with Revelations 2. I also think that's a C. There's a lot of C's here. You see, like, you see, all right. It kind of went into a slump again. Revelations 2, and then big. That's the big shit right there. That's some shit. Resident Evil Raccoon City. Where's the F tier? Because that's where that belongs. That's straight garbage. Same with Umbrella Corpse. Ass. Both of these were ass. Trying to make Resident Evil into an FPS. Well, not an FP. Yeah, not a first person shooter, but like a third person shooter. Didn't work. Did not work. Um, I will not. I don't really want to play these, but I might. Resident Evil 2 remake. Now we're back on track. God damn it! I don't want a fish fillet. I've never had one, and I don't want one. Resident Evil 2 remake. S tier, without a question. A much needed coat of paint on a classic, and man, it's It is great. One of my favorite games of all time, the Resident Evil 2 remake. It's actually personally in the S tier. I think it's top of the class. Top of the class of S tier. I have Resident Evil above there out of personal opinion. I think that's how that would go for me. Resident Evil 3 is a C. This is the worst remake, the worst, just because of the amount of content they cut. And I don't know what they were thinking, like personally cutting out all that stuff. Second, gotta text the wife. Cutting out all that stuff, there was so much content. Like, I can't believe how quick I beat Resident Evil 3. It's absolutely insane. Like, if they added on that content and like actually put some more into the game, it would have been just fine. But they just said, ah, fuck it. Cut out half the game and slap the 3 label on it. They'll eat it up. Resident Evil 4 remake, S tier. I love some Resident Evil 4 remake. Man, is the original Resident Evil my favorite? I completely forget like how good these games are. These are it doesn't get much better than RE2 and RE4. 7. This was kind of another changing point for Resident Evil. Coming off of what Revelations 2. It was 6, Revelations 2, Operation Raccoon City was somewhere in there, Umbrella Corps. They were on like a big slump. I remember this. And then they dropped Resident Evil 7 and completely like reinvigorized. Is that a word? It is now. Like re-energized Resident Evil and like relaunched it uh, with Ethan. No, was it Ethan? Was Ethan in the first game? I don't even remember. Or was Ethan just in the second? No, 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 no. He's in this game. No, I actually don't remember. It's been a minute. But I'm not gonna put it in S. Like it doesn't have the same playability as like an RE4, RE2. Just doesn't hit the same. It's good. It's really good, but I haven't like found myself wanting to go back and be like, oh yeah, I want to play Resident Evil 7 again. But who knows? Maybe that'll change. Same with Village. I actually do I like Village more? I'm gonna put Village above Resident Evil 7 just for the vampires chicks. It's just the way it is. That's the way it's gotta be. You know, I'm a simple man. Uh Resident Evil Resistance, F tier. Can we add a tier? Because God, there needs to be an F tier. These games are ass. Haven't played Requiem. RE Verse, F tier. I couldn't even fucking play the game. And when I could, not good. Not good. I think the servers are actually shut down now. So even if I wanted to play RE Verse, wasn't gonna happen. Can I make this an F? There we go. Perfect. So yeah, these are the ones I haven't played. Survivor, Survivor 2, Resident Evil 0. I played but didn't get far enough to judge. Gaiden, didn't play that. Dead Aim, didn't play that. I think these are just like arcade shooters if I remember correctly. Mercenaries 3D, I never played, but I did play like the mercenary mode on RE5 and RE6. So I don't know if that's just the same thing or what. Dark, what does that say? Dark Chronicles or Dark something? I can't really read the title from here. I have not played this. So I don't know if I should or not, but I haven't played Umbrella Chronicles or I think this is Dark Chronicles if I remember correctly. But without further ado, this is my tier list for Resident Evil. Um, let's find out where we put Requiem. Yeah, there we go. I think I said it right. Resident Evil 9. Let's get into it. Enough of the tier listing and yapping.